Hi, I'm host Eric. Welcome to Talking with Famous People. I'm here with host Zachary and also with famous people, Lorenz Walker and Hamadou. I wanted to talk, I think a good topic would be relationship durability and how the types, our respective types, deal with changes in relationships over time and sustaining relationships over time and how much maintenance they need and stuff like that. So, and I will start by saying ENTP is famous for, and I am reflective of this 100%, for maintaining relations, thinking relationships are the same even decades after they've seen somebody. Like they don't, we don't make changes to our relationship statuses in general based on time apart at all, and we don't think that they are things that need maintaining. They should just stay as they are until you revisit them again. So that's my perspective on long-term relationships is that once you're in, as far as I'm concerned, you're in forever. Even if you start hating me, I'll just wait you out probably and you'll come back around eventually. This happened with multiple people in my life.
For me, I have a bad habit of not making an effort to really sustain relationships with people. Um, Usually the people who talk to me are the ones that they almost always initiate contact, and that's pretty much how they get sustained. Um,
And that's
there,
fair, but some people find that will be hurt because you didn't call them or something. But that's not
Yeah, like
me.
I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I understand
That's
what.
what
Like
I.
like with me maintaining a relationship is similar to you. Like I don't make an effort to try to maintain the relationship. It's usually them initiating it.
I mean, ever so often, I will just want to message someone out of the blue, they haven't talked to in a while. But then after almost immediately, I just kind of wish I didn't, because
You
then
start
I'm
feeling the
reminded of,
burden. You start feeling the social burdens, huh?
yeah.
Or risk of social burdens. Well, but he might
There are some
think I
people
want to talk
that
with him more than I actually do, kind of thing.
yeah, there are some people that I think that if I already didn't have a social circle that I enjoyed, they would be like an ideal person to incorporate into my social circle. But because of the current circumstances, I'm just not going to do that, you know?
Right.
Or have
Well,
too much on my plate.
I
yeah.
feel like for FI users, it doesn't really matter as much.
It
Don't
Like they don't
you?
take it. They don't. I mean, they don't take it like personally.
Oh, you mean if people don't maintain contact with you?
No, like I understand. Like people are like doing their own thing. Like,
Right. I don't think
People have their own
others.
orbits,
I, I mean, I've been so broken by life that I really think that's what it is. Like, society broke me. I feel genuinely grateful when I can find somebody who's willing to go out to dinner with me or something. Because it's just any expectation I might once have had on other people to maintain relationships is long since dead and gone. I don't know if I ever really had it, but um, if you wanna make something happen, you have to make it happen. You can't place some burden on somebody else to make it happen.
yeah. It's. I mean, I don't really. I think it's trying to rely on basing your worth or your own happiness around FE stuff or just your relationships with people and stuff like that. I think it's just a recipe for disaster.
Well, I do think
It's
it's
so
important to maintain some good relationships, and I think it's very important to have, for me anyway, to have some very close relationships where I know I can count on those people if shit goes down. It's great to have a lot of um, good, enjoyable relationships. That is to say, things where you interact with the other on your terms, more or less. But it's important to have a few like family style relationships where you know it's like you're on the same team fundamentally, no matter what.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like For me, like, it's actually kind of difficult to answer this question because, like, right now, like, um, I went from like high school to college, so like it's pretty normal for that to happen.
For what to happen?
You do what?
So like, you know, how, like when you transition from high school to college, like your friends in high school, like you don't really hang out with them anymore, and then you have like a new set of friends like in college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know about like maintaining like relationships.
It didn't happen for me. I maintained all my high school friendships, pretty much. I
Yeah,
still
like
know
I don't
all the
even
same
like think
people.
about that.
You don't like to think about it,
No, I
but
don't even think about it.
see, I maintained them. I didn't expect them to maintain them. Yeah, people get busy with their own lives, but if you're persistent, they'll hang out with you eventually.
Yeah.
And
I
if
mean,
you
that's the part of it. Like, I just don't want to. I'm not gonna be persistent. It's just not worth it.
right, well, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why INTP and ENTP get along well. ENTP doesn't expect anything from INTP, and INTP can tell when ENTP says, "Oh, let's do whatever," that if he says no, the ENTP has 50 other things in line that he could be possibly doing too. He's not gonna get his feelings hurt, you know. And I think it's important for INTJs and INTPs to understand when they're dealing with somebody that it's not somebody who's going to get their feelings hurt and start accusing you guys of being socially mean or bad or something like that. I think you guys, INTPs and INTJs, are fearful of that. INTJs probably hear it more, but INTPs are avoiding that vigorously.
I think that the people who are my friends, the people who I would identify as my friends right now, um, they have known me to the extent that they understand that I will make plans with them and then I will wake up and just decide not to do it. Like that stuff happens, or I will just like sleep through appointments and shit. And I think you've already seen like me do this a few times too, like sleep through shit. But I'm just so like I mean, I have no illusions about the type of person I am. I'm not reliable, and the people who
You're
are my
reliable
friends, I
about.
think
You'll be plenty reliable when it matters at all times. You're an NTP, which is we fucking internalized those lies. We're not unreliable. People are demanding us things of us that they ought not demand.
that's one way to put it. I mean, if I tell someone I'm going to go out to lunch with them, and I tell them 2 hours before we go out to lunch that I stayed up all night, I'm going to bed, and they're just gonna have to reschedule. I think that's kind of a dick move, but I do that way too much.
It's a little inconsiderate, but at the same time, shit happens. You know, I mean, how do you know? How do you know if you're gonna feel like going to lunch tomorrow?
I know that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I always tell people when I make plans. I'm just like, well, we'll see.
Right.
No
That's why I'm a
promises.
right now kind of guy. You know, like when I went out to get food with John last night, it was because I was talking. We were chilling. Hamid was here. I think maybe Lorenz was here too. And I'm like, "Oh, you're in LA. Let's go." And I had to kind of hammer him a bit on it. He's like, "Well, well, well." But I mean, why the fuck not? I got nothing else to do. He's already told me he had nothing else to do. So I was glad he
Yeah,
went
But
if
out with
people
me.
he,
hit me up to do something, I almost am always down. If someone like, if they hit me up out of the nowhere and they're just like, "You guys want to do this?" or "You want to do this?" Like me and a couple of friends are doing this, and I'll be like, if I don't have something planned for the day, then I'll be like, yeah, sure. Like that's like I like that way more than just saying like, all right, here's the schedule. Okay, we Friday we're gonna do this, and then Saturday we'll do this, and then it's just like it's harder for me to do that for some reason.
Hamadou, were
Like
you
if
going to
someone,
comment
for
on
me
this
is
as
for me is
well?
the opposite.
what did you say, Hamadu?
For me is the opposite.
Yeah, INTJ.
Yeah.
Meaning what
No,
exactly?
and also like most of my friends like they understand that like most of my friends are not feelers, so like they're mostly FI and like low FE, so like all of us like understand that like we need our own space and like we don't take things personally. Like, we don't hang out for like a long period of time.
Well, I didn't mean to, but I accidentally, sort of on purpose, I guess, made John wait at Canada's for 45 minutes for me to show up. Because after, I didn't mean to, but after I said, okay, well, I'm going to leave right now, as I was getting my wallet and keys and stuff, I pushed play on the video of our arguing about NAFTA, and I got sucked into it. And I was like, well, let me just
Oh,
watch a couple more minutes. And then I left a lot later than I thought I was going to. But when I left and started driving away, he's like,
45 minutes.
well, I didn't know. I didn't leave 45 minutes late. He was closer to the canners than me. I left about 30 minutes after I should have. So I'm responsible for 30 minutes of the waiting. But he had to wait 45 minutes.
That's
Anyway,
fucking hilarious. You couldn't listen to that shit on the way there.
that's the thing. I could have. I should have. I don't know why I didn't. But
I loved listening to it. Um, I liked it a lot. Uh, although, see, I I'm not sure how I feel with the trade deals. It seems like there's a lot of it's almost infamous now that a lot of the trade deals are they have like a bad rep, or a lot of the destroy the middle class like that. But there's also economists who say that it was good for the economy. But I mean, something that might be good for the economy might not necessarily be good for American workers, right? That's something that's you have to take into account. But see, I don't know much about. I'm not informed enough on economic policies to really come to a decisive, conclusive decision on what I view. I mean, I support Trump regardless because I think that his foreign policy is important, and I don't want to vote left, especially not for Hillary. But uh, so I'm going to vote for him regardless. But
You just don't want to vote neocon.
I don't want to vote neocon, and I don't want to
Yeah.
vote left. So that was just the last. And Gary Johnson is he seems like
I think
his
he's known for his weed legalization. Also,
that's all it yeah that's they
yeah.
talk a lot about that with the I mean honestly I just don't really care if it's legalized. Like, that's not something that's bothering me right
that
now.
battle's already
Right now
won.
the thing I mostly care about right now is the huge refugee crisis in Europe and making sure that doesn't happen here either. I don't. That's the main thing I'm concerned about, and Trump's the only candidate who's talked about that.
You know, libertarians are selling out when they start talking about weed legalization because that battle's already won. We've already won that ideological battle. So they're like, oh, well, we won this ideological battle. Let's sell this. But that's not what libertarians are all about. They shouldn't be about celebrating the ideological battles that they've won, except when they're using it as evidence of why their position is right. I think it's very important for libertarians to say, look, you need to trust us here. Remember when you thought everyone who smoked marijuana should be put in prison, and now you don't anymore? We say it's old people, older people, not younger people.
No,
They
it's not even
probably
that. They
never
should
know.
just talk about freedom.
Yeah, well, yeah. They need to talk about. Well, they need to talk about constraint too. Like, here's how you're being constrained. It's not acceptable. Here's another example where you used to think it was, but now you agree it's not. That's a good way to talk about
Yeah.
weed legalization. And gay marriage, you can use another example too. We
Uh,
can't
Do you guys think
possibly let
Hillary's gonna
gay
be
people get
indicted?
married. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you
I
guys
think
think Hillary's gonna be indicted?
No.
hmm
Too
I
good to
don't
be
know.
true, I think.
Yeah, I think.
If they indict her, they're indicting themselves too. The indictments. See, the thing is, politicians want to limit it to like some really narrow, teeny specific act, so that it doesn't generalize out to their whole wretched populace.
Yeah, like Obama would have to take the fall for that too,
Right.
which is
Too
not
many
gonna
people
happen.
will go down with it. That's why it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but it could hurt her though, like in the election though.
It could, but I mean, I think people are
I
going to
can't
vote.
wait to see the debate between Trump and Hillary. I cannot wait. It is gonna be so much fun to watch. It's gonna be so fucking entertaining.
People are
No,
going to
Hillary's
vote
actually not a good
anti-Trump, not
debater either.
pro. Nobody's voting
I know.
pro-Hillary.
I just want to see Trump just shit on her. That's gonna be so
Yeah.
funny. Because he's not gonna give a shit what he says. I mean, he will give a shit what he says to an extent, but like it's just gonna be so funny. I cannot wait. the rise of Trump as a phenomenon has been so ridiculous. Like no one could have predicted this shit, right? Like it's so fucking insane that all this shit has happened. Like literally, he's the only one left in the whole. The GOP had to nominate him. Like that's so crazy. Like Donald Trump, Donald
And the
fucking
thing too
Trump.
is like the GOP's like tried everything to bring him down.
I know it's
And
so
yeah,
crazy.
they've tried everything in the book.
Of course, it backfires, right? If
Yeah.
it doesn't succeed, it backfires.
I think that there are a lot more Trump supporters than people want to vocalize, and the people are afraid to vocalize.
Well, look,
Yeah.
there are a lot of
I
Trump
agree.
supporters. There are not any Hillary supporters. There are a lot of anti-Trump voters, and there are a lot of pro-Trump
I could
voters.
not believe Hillary won Kentucky. Like I know.
She has a lot of supporters. People are stupid, Eric. A lot of people are supporting her.
But I know, but the fact that
Yeah,
they are
but
supporting
it's
her
like
does not mean they're Hillary supporters. Most people who vote for Hillary are going to vote anti-Trump, not pro-Hillary.
no, most
Well,
of
there's
the
also a lot of
majority of those people don't know anything about politics anyway.
yeah, but they're the
They're
voters.
not well informed.
It's the
But my
censors.
quality,
It's the
my quality,
censors.
homie.
My ex-wife is a perfect example of your average voter, which is to say, she she errs slightly left, and
Well,
then
listen
just
to CNN.
and otherwise just goes with conventional understanding of things, despite being married to me. It
Yeah, I
just
saw that, Lorenz. Yeah, that's I I saw that, and I agree completely.
By the Dalai Lama, yeah.
The Tibetan monk.
I mean, I think it's common sense. Like, it's not that difficult to understand why you would be against it.
I mean, we are really the reason we destabilized the entire region, anyways. We should not have fucking
Yeah.
done that. It's the neocons. I think that's why it's primarily been the riot has primarily consisted of neocons for the past like what 20 years. Like now, there's someone who's running for the riot that is totally against that shit.
No, since like Jimmy Carter with the whole Iran Contra too.
Jimmy Carter, he didn't do anything wrong.
His
His plan just didn't work.
I mean, but
Reagan,
his
he's the one who fucking did the secret arms deals.
but his foreign policy advisors were Henry Kissinger and what's his name? Who's the other guy? Brzezinski. Those are like the godfathers of neocon.
Lorenz, we didn't go to Denny's. We went to Cantor's. Cantor's is downtown. It's a Jewish deli. It's our sandwiches. I don't think you can beat 456, Lorenz. You're supposed to pick one from 912, one from no wait, one from 567, one from 891, and one from 234. You have to pick one. You have to pick either 8, 9, or 1. And then you have to also pick either 2, 3, or 4. And then you have to also pick either 5, 6, or 7. So you pick one from each part of the, like the head, heart, and yeah. You know, I was going back and saw some chat things that I didn't respond to before. And Tip, you should check out. I used your bio as an example and made one just like it on the website there. So
Wait, say that again?
I said I uploaded my bio. I just copied your HTML page and just changed the specs and saved it as eric.html and set it up there. So now there's my bio pages up there too.
Oh, cool, great. Wonderful.
Definitely 5'1". I don't know if I'm 2, 3, or 4. I'm definitely 5'1".
I think you're 3.
5'1", 3.
What are we talking
What are your
about?
3 highest scores in the test?
The scores I got, 5 was like the highest response. I'm gonna check it right now to see what the results were.
Jeff, what did
are
you
these
say?
numbers you guys are talking about?
Oh, Enneagram tri-type. Enneagram tri-type. I self-identify as 783 or 738, depending on my mood.
On the test, I got 5 as my highest result. 6 was next, 7, then 1, then 9, then 4.
All right, so you're
Here's the thing.
514. 514.
That
Yeah.
was that was just on 5. Yeah. Um. So 514 tri-type.
I thought you guys were gonna be debating till like 11 p.m. or something.
We start at 5.
Yeah, we start at 5 or 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, it started yet. Okay.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
pre-debate.
I should have missed an earlier tip. I didn't realize we were going to be doing GTM though. I just kind of hopped in here. I thought it was
Cool. I didn't think you were not telling me about it or anything. I was just curious about your debate.
Oh, you guys should do more FE dancing. It's fun.
So I guess I'm the researcher archetype.
Yeah.
Let's see. Five on fours are apparently the most particular 5.
Most particular.
Hold themselves to the same standards. When the 5 is dominant, information becomes even more of a defense strategy. Knowledge is power. Artistic endeavors are kept private.
That's totally
Social
true
one.
of you. You don't share your music much. I throw everything I make out there.
I bet you also didn't know, Eric, that I'm an artist as well, right?
Do you draw pictures too?
I draw a lot of nights. I don't know. It's like some kind of unconscious manifestation. I don't know what it is, but
You should make a video about it. You should make a video
what?
showing you. You should make a video showing your pictures.
I should make a video of starting from scratch and drawing one.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that too. I draw pictures all the time, but it's usually like when I'm doing shit like this. If I had the clipboard in my hand and a piece of paper and a pencil, I'd probably start just be doodling, you know?
You know what you could do? For those perler beads that I made a few different videos of me making them and then I sped them up. And you could do something like that where you videotaped you drawing the picture, and depending on how long it takes, you could speed up that video and then do commentary over it.
Like speed drawing and then like.
Or put a song
you can
over
do
it. Put like a super fast song. Put the Benny Hill song over it, right? You guys know the Benny Hill song?
Sounds familiar.
All right, I'll send you a link. You youngsters don't know my references.
I know what's good about them, just not all of them.
The 415 sounds a lot like me too. But I don't see how this is like. My wing is 6 though. Or is that in the bodies? That's in the body, so I can't have 6, right?
You either use the
What's in
wing
the head?
model or the tri-type. They're not consistent with each other. You choose.
I
You
see.
say I think this way is better, or I think the other way is better. You can't do both.
I will say the Enneagram website, it's so bad. Like, the Enneagram website, when I look at it, it just sounds so full of shit. It looks so bad. Like, profoundly transform your life, your spiritual growth. We'll show you how. By our
Like I want to use Enneagram to like differentiate between between the same type. So how like there could be different types of INTPs or different types of INTJs.
So you use it as almost like a subtype of the MBTI shit.
Yeah.
So right, because you can have an ENTP 3 or an ENTP
Or
7
ENTP 8.
or an ENTP 8. I'm an ENTP 7 first. And in fact, when you look up 738, the tri-type name is Mover and Shaker. And when I read that description, I don't necessarily think it describes what I am, but it definitely describes what I want to be.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my Enneagram type too. But okay, I'm not sure about
Because Enneagram is based on like what your fear is. So like a type For a type 5, their fear is like being incompetent.
Yep, I was about to say, I was about my
Yeah.
fear is, yeah.
What's seven's
Like they try to
fear?
find. Uh, I actually haven't looked up 7. Like 7 actually sounds like really any because it's really
But
scattered.
regardless of like, assuming removing Dario Nardi's stuff out of the equation, let's assume that doesn't exist for a second, and just go back to the cognitive function being like a theory, right? Uh, I'm still not completely convinced of its objective utility, I suppose. But what I will note is that the people I've met through the same system, right? So the people I've met, like on Dog and Fantasy Pool, are all drawn here pretty much because of MBTI, right?
Mhm.
Um, and all the types that I'm supposed to get along with, I get along with. And we talk, and the types that I'm supposed to have they're supposed to be into topics that I'm into, seem to be into that. So it seems to me like I'm not sure of the objective utility of it, but it definitely seems that
Like
uh,
behavior.
it seems like it to me that it's very evident that NT types are going to get along. You know, they're going to talk about things that are more than just what you ate for dinner or some shit. You know.
Well, I mean, at the very least, the cognitive function model is predictive in the following way. If I go and say, if I find a web page that says NTP forum, I know very clearly what kind of shit's going to be talked about there. So in that regard, people, even if it's because they're just using it as a term to describe certain things, um, they're describing behaviors that people self-identify with very clearly and feel as though there's good reason to ascribe to. You know?
Right. Yeah. This the thing is, I mean,
Like the only types I don't get along with are SJs for the most part, and
mhm.
some NFs.
Well, actually, I have an ISF. Mm, my uncle.
Please hold as we are experiencing technical difficulties.
I think I get along with my uncle, but I have to make a lot of effort to,
Yeah.
right? Like we can't. Our bond is completely because of music. We play music together, and outside of that, I mean, we share political views, but we arrive at our conclusion. We arrive at the same conclusion, but in a different way. So it's just merely coincidental. I feel that we share political views, right? Like my reasoning for sharing well, it's just in general. We both lean right, but um, we just don't get along really on anything. We have to kind of avoid talking about politics and religion, or we have to avoid talking about shit I care about because I can't talk about philosophy because he weaves that through his already developed Christian worldview, and there's no way to talk about anything that's outside of that paradigm, you know.
Hmm.
So I have to. It's just completely over music. So there's like a bit of a struggle to get along with them, but it still works out. Or it's still
God said
enjoyable.
it, I believe it, that settles it.
What?
God said it, I believe it, that settles it.
Oh no, he does he usually uses the argument of like when we're talking about morality, he says there's an intuition in all of us, and we feel it in our hearts. We have a conscience, and I'm just like I know, and I understand that, but what triggers that conscience seems to kind of be different in people, you know, and it's just like I mean, he has like a rule, a general rule of thumb, the KISS principle, the keep it simple, stupid principle, um, that I can't follow at all. I mean, I think that's a horrible way to go about life, uh, not looking toward the substance of anything. But
Zach, listen, if you, let's say you're having trouble with calculus or something, the answer is the KISS solution. Keep it simple, stupid. What you need to do is take easier math. That's the problem. Go back to arithmetic.
Like it may work for the low stress in the immediate circumstance, but
Right. If you actually want to
I
There
learn,
is something.
I can get along with like ISTJs though, but
what
all
is
the other like I can get along with ISTJs. Like one of my with my best friend in high school was actually an ISTJ, but like ESTJs, ESFJs, and ISFJs, I just can't. Like, there's like no connect. Like we can't talk at all.
well, I think ISTJs,
Like anything.
INTJs, INFJs are the and ENTJs are all alike. Okay, and then I think ENTPs, INTPs, ISTPs, and
ESTP.
ENFPs are all alike. And the reason is on the left hand side, they're the first ones I named. Those are the finalizers and the proceeders. And but some of them are half, right? Some of them have the just half of it, like
sometimes I
ISTJ.
wish I was an ENTJ.
Yeah.
You'd be rich, but you would have no understanding of what it means to experience success. It's weird. It's inversely
No, like you
proportional,
wouldn't know
right?
how you feel either about anything.
Right. You to the extent that
Because
you're
I'm a
able to
I'm a
succeed more, to the extent that you're able to attain a state of constant robotic mind where you're putting a handle on shit, you're unable to, in equal proportion, are you unable to experience any joy from that?
Well, just to go back to the whole keep it simple, stupid, there is something to be said for that because there have been so many times when I have overthought something to the point where I missed the simple solution that was right in front of my face.
Hello, Any.
Uh, that's true. I think sometimes like sort of almost you have to become detached from the issue that you're struggling to fix before you find the solution. I think that's like a common experience. Um, with my but my uncle's like I don't know if I can never tell if he gets me, and in that sense of like I've canceled on him a lot where I just wait till like an hour before it's time to do shit, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do anything. And I'm not sure how he feels about that. He always comes off as saying like, oh, it's fine, like see you next week or some shit. But like,
passive aggressive.
I can never tell. I can never tell if he's passive. I can never tell if he like really doesn't care or if it really bothers him.
He
I feel like
cares,
he's
but
way more emotionally connected.
he cares, but he doesn't want to. He cares about you too. He cares that you're not going to hang out with him, but he cares about you too. So he doesn't want to put any bad feelings on you. So he's just saying he's expressing his care for you by not expressing any hurt about that. To the extent that he feels anything bad, it might be a little bit of hurt. Probably not a whole lot of bad, because I'm sure, like everybody's got a lot of things going on. There aren't very many people who expect one person only to satisfy all their interactive needs, you know? But to the extent that he feels something about it, it's probably a little bit hurt, but he's trying not to have you feel hurt.
Wait, what's this type again?
I'm not sure. I think he's an ISFJ. He's very he's like okay. He is super emotional. Like he views everything very emotionally. And he also is very selfless in the sense that like he will constantly do what people ask of him, even if he doesn't want to do it. He's very reliable. He's very reliable as a person. So I'm not sure what kind of type that would be. I think he's an ISFJ. I don't think an ISFP would be seen as reliable and or like super reliable and super like almost like protective in a sense. This doesn't
Yeah,
seem
'cause
very
I'm an
ISFP.
SE.
So I think he's an ISFJ. He's definitely not a T type, but he is an intelligent guy. He just isn't. He's not a T type.
ISFJ is my Sissionics duel, if I could find one. A chick who's an ISFJ. We could.
You wanna get hooked up with my 60-year-old uncle?
No. But uh, I would like to at least try dating an ISFJ for a little while. One thing that socionics says is that duals, when they first interact with each other, are almost certain to be largely indifferent. And it describes it. It's described that the duals, the extrovert is going to not think that there's anything really noticeable, or not going to make note of the introverted one in the dual, and the introvert is going to think they're not good enough for the extrovert in some way, a little bit, but they're going to
No,
be
for
mostly
me, like
indifferent right off the bat.
with ESFPs, I like when I first meet them, I'm annoyed by them because of the SE. But after we get to know each other, it usually is a really good relationship.
Which type is that you said?
ESFP.
And that's your dual.
Yeah, and I really like ISFPs as
No,
well.
your dual should be ESFJ.
No, mine is.
INTJ.
Mine's ESFJ. I thought the same thing, and then Patrick corrected me. I looked it up, and I was wrong.
Okay, it only goes backwards the other direction. It only goes backwards the other direction. If you're I, then you can do the switch. If you're E, you have
Mm.
to switch it. You have to switch the last letter.
Um,
So if you're an extrovert and you're going, I want to figure out my dual, you have to go the opposite letters of you, but switch the last one. So I go, okay, I, S,
I don't
F.
even know how I would meet an ESFJ. Probably at church. If I went to a church around here, I'd probably meet an ESFJ.
Aren't they
My
one of
father's
the
an E.
most frequent types?
I married
Are
one.
they?
I was married one for a long time. She was
Like
great.
SJs in general.
Where do I find ESFJs at? No, don't tell Faith I said.
I've also heard that ESFJs and ISFJs are the most common type, but I don't think they self-identify very much because S's
Is
are
there no
less
shit?
likely to care about typing and stuff like that. But my ex-wife was a great wife. I'll tell you that. She cared about the home environment and home kind of things a lot. A perfect domestic partner. I don't think if you're trying to have um, sort of an off and on again kind of screw around party girl, that's not your ESFJ. But if you're looking for something
That'll be
long
ESFP
term,
maybe.
you don't want to fuck around with an ESFJ. You want to either settle down with them or leave them alone. My theory.
I need to leave him alone until I'm like 30.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
And I'll go to I don't know, we're fucking a a fucking damn, I forget the name of it. It's like when you thread shit together. Yarning? Is it yarning?
Are you saying?
Crochet?
Yeah,
Knit?
crochet. That's what it is. Yes, yes. I need to go to a fucking crochet get together or some shit. I'm sure one of them will be there.
Yeah.
Or knitting,
Or
needlepoint.
or shit my ex-wife does, right? Like she does shit like, oh, we're having a crafting day, where it's not you don't all do the
That's
same
exactly what I
craft.
thought that.
You don't
Yeah.
all do the same craft, and then but somebody will bring in a specialty new idea for crafting. Like when I got my ex-wife this big book of, it was like how at the end of the year they used to put a newspaper into a year-long book of just flat pages of newspapers, day after day after day after day after day. It's called, I forget what it's called. Anyway, I got her a couple of those that were from like uh, 19. Well, one of them was like 1917, and a newspaper that had a whole year's worth. It only cost me $20 too. It was a big ass fucking book. It was tall. And then the other one there was one from like the 30s, one from 40s. Anyway, she loved that because you can use that paper in crafting, right? You can cut out those papers and glue them onto shit. Well, I mean, to me, it seems like kind of a waste of time, frankly. Your little crafts. I like to craft too. I like to make little crafts, but I don't think my crafts are a waste of time. I think pasting paper onto something's a waste of time. But that's just my own personal opinion. There's no difference to pasting paper than making this video.
Uh,
I
I
feel like
might have,
crafting in general is a waste of time.
I don't know if I mentioned this before to you, Eric. I mentioned it to someone. I forget who though, but um, in this area, the Appalachia, the art of making quilts, the art of quilting is a dying art. Is a dying art in this area because they're almost like all the older generations have a lot of them can that's something they learned when they were young girls in this area growing up in the early like 1900s or like I guess mid 1900s now uh but now it's like something that's being no one does that shit anymore. No one does that shit
Okay,
and it's
step one,
super
Zach. Step one, promote my quilting museum video around your community. That's the best way you can begin to generate some more enthusiasm for quilting.
it
Um,
really is. I think it's a dying art though. I really
it's
do, and
sad. It's
I don't
sad.
like that. I feel like it's a nice way to embed. It's a very it's a nice catalyst to transcribe culture into. I think it's very and there's a lot of. It's one of the last. I don't know. I just identify quilting as such like a folksy type of thing. You
It's
know?
one of the quiltiest of all crafts.
Yes. No, but it seems like a very folk-driven art, and there are not a lot of those left over. And I don't want it
It's
to
got a
die out.
grandma link to it too, right? It makes you think grandma, makes you think cozy, makes you think that kind of shit. It's a nice craft.
But yeah, there's quilting holocaust going on, a quilting genocide, perhaps.
Could be just a quilting die-off like the bees. Quilting colony die-off syndrome.
The quilting colonies, yeah.
Should we stop this video? It's been going on for a long time. I don't even know what it's about. What did we start talking about to begin with?
We talked about FE. We should hit on that a little bit more before we end it.
All right, fine. FE, I think one reason why I get along well with INTJs, I don't remember who I was saying this to. Maybe I said it on an earlier video today, but is because uh, they don't worry about FE shit. So I don't gotta worry about it, because
So true.
normally I'm gonna be weaker than a lot of FE more people with more FE, and even if I'm not, it seems like the NE-FE combo is a particularly it plays the long shots at the track. It's like it might be a viable gambling style, but you're going to be you're going to lose more often than a better who bets the favorites, right?
It's a very charming loop, the NEFE. Like if it exhausts me to do it, but it's an easy way to like if I engage that part of me, I become a conversationalist, and it's charming, it draws people to you. But then the problem comes when you get exhausted and you can no longer maintain those bonds you build out of it, which is what happened in my first relationship.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what happens when you're a judger in your dominant slot rather than a perceiver. For me, it's hard to turn it off. I have the opposite problem. I talk too much in certain videos, and I try to say, next time, Eric, try to be more mindful.
Yeah, I think the opposite is the TI-SI loop for INTPs, where we constantly just sort of judging the world based on past experiences or current information without forgetting to engage your NE and FE.
You're just reviewing the data. Listen, TI says, what we really need to do here is just, okay, shut down this decision-making shit. Let's just review the data. Let's review it until we really know what's going on. Because we love evidence so much. INTPs love evidence. Not the worst thing a person could say about you, frankly.
What's the worst thing?
Well, I mean, I hate evidence, but I don't think it's bad to say that to me. But the worst thing you say to me is,
You hate evidence?
yeah, I hate evidence, dude. I like reasoning.
Really?
I like doing what I did with evolution there. They're not relying on any sort of data or evidence to prove my point. Just attacking the
That
contradictions
sounds like
of
a
things.
horrible way to navigate.
Yeah, well, you know, let's reshuffle your cognitive function stack, and you might feel exactly the same way.
I mean, evidence is the only way that you can like know something.
Okay, first of all, I'm
I
not
don't know
I'm
if
not
that's true.
interested in knowing things so much that I'm interested in winning arguments.
What? Okay, well, there's one simple. What you just said though. There's one simple refutation of that. How do you know that 1 + 2 = 3?
I don't
How
care
is
that
that
one
evident
plus two
outside?
equals three.
I'm asking. I'm asking
Oh,
Hamid.
you're
Make
asking
me.
Hamadou. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hamadou.
I mean, if you take one of something and two of something, it's gonna be three of something.
INTJ
But the
answer.
the categorical explanation of things is something that is rooted subjectively.
Here's my issue with it. I am not. I don't know that I necessarily agree with Eric on the I don't like evidence side of things because I really like math because of how black and white it is. 1 + 2 pretty much always equals 3. I really like that. But when you get into more complex situations, I find that it's really impossible to know the evidence backwards and forwards. You never really can see everything from every angle. I know that one of the ways I try to learn about something is to attack it from every single angle and get every single perspective. And whenever I find a situation, wherever I learn a new perspective that I didn't think existed, it like depresses the shit out of me that I didn't see that
It's
and that
okay,
I didn't
man.
get
You'll
that
run.
angle.
That'll stop happening. That'll stop happening eventually. But look, the other thing is, it's not an efficient way to attack shit to try to learn every single angle. You go in,
Why not?
look, because it denies you the opportunity to go and play it by ear and look for vulnerabilities real time.
Yeah, but I want to see the different perspectives.
You'll find out when you get in the argument.
Well, not everything has to be an argument, Eric.
ENTPs are fucking weird.
All
Let's end it on that note.
right, I'll end it right there. Thanks for watching Talking Advanced People.